Current affairs for UPSC Civil Services examination. It's a headache for almost every aspirant. There are many issues, many reasons behind it. The first and foremost reason is there are too many sources. Like, in fact, when you speak to your teachers would recommend you should read the Hindu, the Indian Express, the best of the two newspapers. Then your environment and geography teacher will also ask you should also go through Down to Earth magazine. Your governance teacher would say, your essay teacher would say that you should cover Yojana and Kurukshetra. The uh, economy teacher may say budget economic survey of India, covering that is must. Then IR teacher or international relation teacher may say that ORF is a very important source that cannot be skipped. And it's it's not actually possible for students to actually follow all these sources. So one problem that every student faces is यार क्या करना है, कितना करना है. Then second problem which every aspirant faces when it comes to current affairs preparation is to understand what is in the syllabus, what is not in the syllabus. Like if you're a beginner, you would end up spending 3-4 hours on reading newspaper, whereas as per your syllabus, you should have perhaps gone through only 3-4 articles. This is another major issue. Then within this, I'll speak about how to link a particular article with the requirement of the examination. For example, right now, a lot of things regarding BRICS, SCO, India-China relation is going on. Now, there is a lot of story in those newspaper articles. Exactly understanding what is needed, what is relevant as per exam, and what should I note down becomes another challenge. So, first challenge was understanding the source, which source to cover. Second challenge was linking these things with the syllabus. Then sometimes students rely on these monthly magazines. That's a good thing for a very senior aspirant. But in reality, there are two issues. One issue was always there. These magazines are not actually being made by teachers. These magazines are being made by aspirants. They work in different coaching institutes and they compile articles from various newspapers, creating these magazines which make them as novice as the student. Sometimes there would be excellent articles, but sometimes there will be too factual an article which is not relevant for the examination. Now, within magazines, there's another problem which has emerged. That is, recently a lot of new teachers have come on YouTube who are just doing or just copy pasting things from AI tools. You could see in their notes that it's just copy paste of AI, no independent analysis, no effort put by the teacher. And when you read these kind of magazines, it is not actually analytical enough to prepare you for the examination. This is the third problem. So far, we've talked about three key things. पहला चीज क्या था? पहला, which source to cover. दूसरा, how to link it with your syllabus requirement. Third one, like the limitations of magazines. Then comes a very big problem. I personally feel this is the biggest one, which is how to revise. We keep on covering newspapers every day. We keep on, sometimes student would be very sincere and every day the student is making notes out of those newspapers or from those magazines. But in reality, by the time you'll reach December, you would have forgotten what you have done today, unless you have a clear-cut revision strategy. If you don't have it, then all your hard work that you have put, perhaps think of this, if in June, July, August you have been making notes of newspapers, how much have you actually revised and how much do you remember what you did in June? The revision is another big issue in preparing current affairs for civil services examination, the fourth problem. And finally, the last one I would say is balancing your basic static preparation and your current affairs preparation. Sometimes I've seen students who ignore current affairs altogether. That's also a disaster. But then there are students who will put in lots of efforts on current affairs, ignoring their static preparation or the basic preparation. And that's also another type of disaster. So balancing this remains a challenge. And to solve all these 5 problems, we at LevelUp IAS are launching our current affairs program from 12th of September. Now, how would we solve these problems? Dekho, first was the problem of the source. For a student, it's not possible to go through these sources and take out crisp, concise, required material from it. But as a current affairs teacher, I can spend 7-8 hours on this. I can ensure that after working almost for a week, I can come on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and in 2 hours of classes each, I'm able to bring all those dimensions, all those perspectives which were in all those different sources. So one thing that I'll solve for you is you will have to refer to only one source. I would not say that you should not read newspaper. You should read newspaper. Every day read newspapers for 45 minutes to 1 hour, not more than that. Don't give it more time than this, because if you do that, you are hampering your optional preparation, you are hampering your static preparation. So read newspapers, read at least one newspaper. For rest of it, you can depend on our classes. We will make sure that we are covering everything, anything that is needed for the examination. First thing. Second, in order to make sure that your preparation is as per the requirement of examination, we'll cover current affairs in a syllabus-wise manner. Just say, for example, in September, I'm planning to prioritize international relations and economy. So in the very first class on Friday, you will see I'll cover India, China, India, Russia, and associated international bodies like SCO, BRICS. So through this, what are we doing? We're covering India, major powers. Next week, I'll go to India, its neighborhood. Then I'll go to international bodies. Then I'll talk about diaspora. In this way, over the next 4 weeks, we will finish all the current affairs related to IR. Not only IR, but I'm also targeting economy. So in your syllabus, there is economic growth mentioned, there is mobilization of resources mentioned, there is employment mentioned, there is inclusive growth mentioned, there is government budgeting mentioned. So over the next 1 month, or over the next 4 weeks, we'll also ensure that all the current affairs related to these, along with some static portion which is needed for our understanding, is thoroughly covered. So we will cover current affairs as per the syllabus of UPSC Civil Services Examination, rather than doing it haphazardly. When we cover things as per the syllabus, you'll also feel more confident ki this is done, this point of syllabus is done, this point of syllabus is done, this point of syllabus is done, and you will feel more confident for the examination. And when you also cover it like that, you also are linking your current affairs preparation exactly with the right point in the syllabus. This is how we'll solve the second problem. What was the third problem? Third problem was ki your magazines are generally being prepared by aspirants, senior aspirants who are working in various coaching institutes. We won't do that. I promise you this, and this is what I have done in last 9 years of my teaching experience. Each and every content that you will get, each and every content, I myself will prepare it. And I myself have done it in the last 9 years. I have never ever had a team where someone else would be doing research for me. No. I personally type each and every word, research each and every notes, cover each and every topic. There would be no other teacher. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि साइंस पढ़ाने कोई और आ रहा है, एनवायरमेंट पढ़ाने कोई और आ रहा है. नहीं. Your current affairs would be my responsibility. This is how I'll make sure that the limitations of magazines are resolved. Fourth thing about revision. Now, why are we sometimes not able to revise? We are not able to revise. If you remember, in your examination, in your college examination, when did you study the most? A day before examination. So what we are planning, what we are doing in this current affairs program is, from September till December, every Sunday you will have 2 tests. One objective test, one subjective test. What is the purpose? Every Saturday, forcing you revise everything that you have studied. Why? Because in this manner, we have planned tests in such a manner that you will have weekly test covering everything that you covered in that week. You'll have weekly test, but at the end of month, you'll have a monthly test, making sure that At that time, you're doing a monthly revision. You're not forgetting what you studied in the first week. You are revising that also. In the same way, we will have 3 monthly tests. We'll have 6 monthly tests. So if you follow this program properly, we will make sure that you are revising things in proper manner. Now comes the last part, balancing static with current affairs preparation. Now, this is a challenge because initially in the first year when I was teaching, I started teaching in 2016, and I saw my students were doing very well in current affairs topics, but the static was getting ignored because they had tests of current affairs every week. They were not focusing on static that much. And right from the next year, that is right from 2017, what I have been doing is, in your test on Sunday, you will not only have current affairs, we will cover static portion also. So while in classes we will primarily focus on current affairs, we will cover things in a manner which is cover those things which are in news, but in your test on Sundays you will have, along with current affairs, some static portion also, so that you are forced to revise every Saturday that static portion. In fact, what I recommend students is, Monday ko you'll have your test syllabus, just have a look what is the portion in the, what is the syllabus that's going to be covered, and start working on that. In this way, you will be preparing for both current affairs as well as static. You will be having a balance. We'll have around 50%, more than 50% question from static, and around 40-50% question from current affairs, making sure that your performance in the weekend test will also depend on balancing these two things. So these are the 5 problems that I feel are the most important problems that a student face when it comes to preparing for current affairs. And through our current affairs program, this is what we're going to do. Let me briefly talk about the structure. In our current affairs program, there will be 3 phases. First phase, the pre-cum-mains phase between September and December. We are primarily focused on mains with some coverage of preliminary examination also. Here we'll have 3 classes a week, and we'll cover current affairs for GS 1, 2, 3 and prelims examination. We'll try to go through all the relevant sources so that you do not have to worry about covering lots of things, and you will have weekly test, 1 objective test and 1 subjective test every week. Then from January, we will shift to the prelims phase. In prelims phase, what we do 2 things. 1, we will do basics also for some subject, like for science and tech, for environment, for international bodies, for international mapping. For these 4 things, you will not need to refer to any other source. We will cover its basics also and its current affairs also. Then for these subjects, polity, economy, history and geography, we will be covering current affairs. Here you will keep having your tests. Here you will keep having your objective test. Plus you will also do what? You will also do some CSAT tests too. We'll make sure that 4-5 CSAT tests are also part of this program, this phase. Here every Sunday you will have 1 objective test right till preliminary examination, and beach mein there will be 5-6 Sundays where you will have 2 tests, 1 GS test and 1 CSAT test. And then would come the last phase, target mains phase. Here in target mains phase, you people will not have to worry a lot if you have joined the September 2020 batch, because between September and December we'll cover lots of mains. Okay, so here though we take 4 classes a week, you people may not need to cover all 4 classes a week because you would have already covered substantial part of both your GS2 and GS3. But in worst case, if you don't study between September and December and you want to cover everything between June, July, August, that is at the time of mains examination, we'll have around 4 classes a week. Here we'll cover GS2 and GS3 syllabus wise. Every bullet point in the syllabus, we will keep finishing them. And here in every class, we will write 3 to 4 answers. So roughly we'll take 40 classes here in this phase, and in the 40 classes, by writing 3 to 4 answers, will make sure that you're writing 120 to 160 answers in class, and you'll also have discussions. We will also have discussions on these things. So with this, your entire preparation, for both prelims and mains examination, is taken care of in this program. The program is starting on 12th of September. First lecture is on 11 AM. I hope to see you all there. Come and join us and level up your civil services examination preparation. Thank you very much.